Hello, hello, hello. It's your girl, Shawn LeRae, and welcome to Boss Talk. Y'all know it's Wednesday, and that's time for Boss Talk that's bold, one of a kind, sensational superstars, and that's each and every one of you. Welcome, welcome. It's Wednesday. Take this moment and tell a friend. Tell them to come in. Tell them to comment, like, and of course, subscribe. We're here every Wednesday, 6 o'clock Eastern time, 7 o'clock Mountain time, 8 o'clock Central time, and 9 o'clock Pacific. So tell your friends. Tell them to check out so you get a reminder. Well, thank you for tuning in out there. It is so good to see you on Wellness Wednesday. I just have a little tidbit for y'all. We are at 288 subscribers. So let's see if tonight y'all can help us get to 300. We want to get to 300. So go ahead and subscribe. If you're not watching on YouTube, go on over there anyway and just hit the subscribe button and show us some love. So thank you. So tonight, I'm excited to be here. It is beautiful, beautiful weather in California. I wouldn't call it sunny California today. It's kind of gloomy, but it is, after all, California. So it's warm and balmy and a little bit humid for us, if I may say so. But I think that there's some activity going on the East Coast that's probably helping us have a little bit extra humidity. So as I stated, it's Wellness Wednesday, and tonight's topic is a little bit of a heavy topic. So I'm going to wait to do our breathing until I bring on my guest, because maybe this will help her just be in a space to share from her heart, from this place of difficulty that she's going to be talking about tonight. So I want to see who's out there and see where you're joining from. So let's see. Mr. Seals is out there. He says, "Hi, Boss Talk. I love you. I love you too, darling. That, y'all, is my fiance, and I am going to be his wife in 11 short days. So, yay!" Thanks for tuning in, darling. So who else is out there? Let me know where you're tuning in from. Like I said, we're here in sunny California. And I know that my guest is from South Carolina. So maybe some of y'all out there are from South Carolina. Go ahead and put it in the chat. Don't be shy. We want to talk to you. We want to know you're out there. So as you all know, I am a licensed marriage family therapist as well as a transformational performance coach. And some of the work that I do is based around trauma. And trauma is always a touchy subject. I say that because a lot of us are walking around here in this great big old world not realizing that we are living in trauma and that we have experienced trauma and that trauma colors the way that we behave or perform or show up in the world. And so I'm really always excited when I get to talk about trauma. And the thing about trauma is it not only changes your mental state and how you show up, and it also changes how your brain operates. And people don't realize that. So I really want to have a great conversation tonight with my guest who has experienced some trauma and talk about that. Look who's out here. Ms. Kim Anthony from Urban Excellence. Yay. Hello, hello. Thank you for tuning in, lady. And Kim Anthony, we are very excited to know that she is graduating the third, I think it's the third cohort of the Urban Excellence Coaching Academy. And so my sweetheart is a part of the class of 2024. And so congratulations, Kim, on another amazing group coming out of there. And hello, Akane, my sister and colleague in marriage family therapy, and also on the board with me of San Fernando Valley, California Association of Marriage Family Therapists. And if you're out there and you are a therapist and you have not yet joined CAMFT and San Fernando Valley CAMFT, this is our membership, VP of membership. So she's the person to know. All right, y'all. So I want to get my guest out here. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about her, and then we'll have a moment of just breathing in and finding our peace before we go into talking about this difficult topic. So my guest is Linda Renee, and she is the owner and operator of Divine Intervention Consultant LLC. She was born and raised in South Carolina by her dear mother, Geraldine, aka Gerald, who she calls her life inspiration. She is an herbalist, a heat therapy technician, foundation life coach, recently certified in grief, and she is an author. Her life's goal and passion is to bring healing and to inspire generations to have confidence in their problem-solving abilities. She knows that no single approach is right for every individual, but there is a solution to it all. So, Boss Talkers, without another word from me, please welcome in Linda Green. Come on in, Linda.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello. How are you?
I am excellent. Let me take these off so I can see you better. So welcome to Boss Talk.
Thank you for having me. It's a great opportunity.
Absolutely. This has been a long time coming. Yeah. Linda was referred to me by some guests who were out of South Carolina, Connie Montgomery and Risa Tolbert, I believe it is, right? Right. And they were guests on Boss Talk. And then Connie reached out to me and said, you must meet this woman. You must have her on. She has a great story to tell. And she's written a book. And I understand that you've written some other books.
Well, yeah, I just finished my second book. It's at editors now. So it'll be coming out soon on the shelf nearby. So you'll be able to purchase it on Amazon as well.
Oh, that is so awesome. So let me ask this question, because I love to hear from authors, because I got a book in me and part of it has already spilled out onto the pages. And then I'm like stuck. I'm at halt. So how did you go through your process of writing?
I just made it a promise and made myself disciplined to just take some time each and every day to just put me first and just sit down and just pour myself out on pages. You know,
okay, so you make me feel real bad right now. Because I'm always talking about put yourself first and do all these things. And this is something that I really want to do, but I have not yet found it in me to push myself or to organize myself in such a way that I get it done. And so thank you for the inspiration, because I really do want to put this out there. And I think I was frightened by the first chapter because I really loved it. And then I was like, that old devil get in there in the mind and tell you some things. And he said, oh, that's really good. How you going to keep doing that?
Well, right? You have to. So,
yeah. I stopped.
Yeah. But you have to get back to it.
Yes, I will. I really will. Did you set aside time each evening or certain days of the week, or how did you work?
I started setting aside time like 8 o'clock in the afternoons, whenever I've gotten off from work and then shower and change and just relax. And once I start, I'm the type of person that once the words start flowing, I just have to just keep going. Yeah. It's just like, you just got to do it. You just got to make time, to do it, especially if it's something that's been God given.
Yes.
And he will make you make time. Seriously, you you want to, because that's, you just get so excited and you don't want to stop. And when you like designate that time, it's like, oh my gosh, I gotta do this, because it's bigger than me. Yeah.
Got it. That's beautiful. Yeah. Well, when I did write the chapter, my dear friend, shout out to Chantel Denise over in Austin, Texas, who just completed her book and will soon, you'll soon be able to purchase it. She and I went away to Palm Springs and we wrote feverishly for that weekend. And I do recognize that for me, because I'm so tapped into so many things so much of the time.
Right.
Y'all get that? So many things so much of the time. I have to be away from my life because I'm easily pulled into doing something. So I recognize that, and I don't mind having a getaway for sure. So so I think that's going to be my strategy. Oh, look who's here. Good evening, Risa. She says, good evening, everyone. Yes, it's so nice to see you. And you are just in time for us to take just a wellness moment on this fine Wednesday. And let's just, and please do this with me, Linda, before we get going and get into the story. Let's do like 3 deep breaths. Let's like count, breathing in, counting to 4. I want you to hold it to the count of 4 and then release it through the mouth to the count of 4. When you inhale, expand your belly like a balloon. A lot of times we go, that's not it. It's more like this.
Yes.
So thinking like that, like as though your tummy is a balloon, expand your belly. When you inhale, exhale slowly. We're going to go 4, 4, 4, 4 to breathe in, 4 to hold, and 4 to exhale. So ready? Let's do that. Keep your shoulders down and let's breathe in. Here we go. Let's inhale again.
Okay.
And this last time, as you exhale, give it sound. Let it flow through your body and give it the sound. Okay. Ready? Inhale. Ooh. Yes. Now y'all know, like Mariah Carey says, get out.
Yeah.
All right. So let's get into it. So Linda, you wrote this book. When did you write this one?
I started writing in September of 2023. Okay.
This is the book, y'all. If You Love Me by Linda Renee. That's kind of like Sean LeRae, huh?
Yeah, yes.
I love a two-name girl. All right. So tell us, what was the inspiration for your writing the book?
My mom. And actually it was a battle. I didn't want to write the book, but it was something that God kept pushing me to do. It's like, I need you to write this book. And I kept being rebellious. I'm like, no, I don't want to do this, because as you read the book, it's just, exposing so much of raw material, so many secrets that has been carried along. And, he used a friend of mine. We was in our MBA class. And he's like, you know what? The Spirit told me to tell you to write this book. And I'm like, nah, I'm not going to do that. But then I started thinking back to my mom, how courageous she was for everything that she's been through, so many different types of surgeries and cancer. And I'm like, you know what? If she's been brave enough to do that, then I'm brave enough to write this book. And I had to take self out the equation, because it wasn't about me anymore. It was about bringing healing to all the brokenness, to all the sadness, to all the hurt that so many people go through, not only just females, but males go through it as well. But it's so hidden and kept such a secret that, people just don't want to be exposed as to wondering or scared about what someone would say, or the backlash, of different people. But, you have to get to a point in your life where, you know what, it's about me and my healing and how I'm going to be a productive person in society.
Absolutely. I'm so glad that you mentioned that it's not just females that go through this.
Yes.
More men than we could ever imagine and that we would think actually experience this.
Yes.
Um, we might, let's just say it, sexual abuse.
Right.
And I used to, before getting licensed, I rented an office space, and I couldn't get a clinical supervisor at the time, so I couldn't do therapy. So what I did was I taught from a book called Wounded Heart. Are you familiar with it?
No, I'm not.
It's a
But
it's
I
a
will.
book based on Christian. It's based on Christian principles, and it is for adult survivors of childhood sexual abuse.
Right.
And so I was teaching that class, and I had women coming and taking the class. And one of the things that stood out for me, and it continues to stand out for me as a therapist, is that a lot of women have been abused, but they don't know that it was abuse,
Right.
because we often think we want abuse. We want, if we're going to call it abuse, we want it to be all the way. We want it to be sexual intercourse. And when you are a young girl, a young child, male or female, and someone violates you by touching you inappropriately, by even introducing your thoughts and your mindset to things that are well above the time that you should be learning it,
Right.
that is abuse. And so it was interesting, heartbreakingly so, to help these women to see that even though you don't feel like it was abuse, it was abuse.
Right.
And now we have to own that so that we can come back from that and heal.
Right.
Was there ever a time, and I'm asking this for the audience because I know I read the book, but was there a time that you denied it or didn't want to accept the gravity of the abuse and the fact that it happened?
Yes. Once I got older and realized what was going on, um, I had to muster up the strength to say, okay, you know what? This is not supposed to be. This is not supposed to be happening. But whenever you're a child and you're around certain things and you're going into places or rooms that you're not supposed to be, or you sneaking around peeping and you seeing certain things, and you're like, okay, well, if they're doing it, then this is what it's supposed to be. This is what I'm supposed to do. If someone say, well, we do this because we love you. But this is when it comes time for parents to start teaching the children the different types of love, the different types of touching, the different things that's supposed to go on in the adult bedroom, not supposed to be doing with a child. You're so,
Yes, and
it's
that's
like,
so true.
you don't want to start teaching kids early about sex and the different touches, but now is almost, you need to start immediately.
Immediately.
So they can actually, so they can
Yeah,
actually
and that's
know the
key.
difference. Yes. So
Yes,
they
I
can
think that's the key. Yes, go ahead. I'm sorry.
so they can actually know the difference between I love you hug or inappropriate kind of slick way I love you hug, or when you're hugging or touching, they need to
Right.
know the difference of that.
And the other thing to that, and here's the title again: if you love me. And I think that we're going to go back into that. But I think that well, first I want to say hi to Legacy Janae. Thank you for tuning in. I think you're a first time boss talker. Welcome. And a regular old friend, Stephanie Keys. Welcome, my sister. Nice to see you. And I have something for you that I just saw at my house yesterday, so we need to talk. Now, the piece that really stands out for me too is that, well, were you 5 when it began?
Yes.
Yes. So let's talk about the grooming.
Okay.
Because your abuser didn't start out just abusing you.
Right.
He started out making you feel like you had done something wrong, number one. So can you speak a little bit to that?
Yes. It started with first the treats, when you're getting rewarded for something that you hadn't yet did, or you felt like you did something wrong. Well, then, you know what? Since you did this, then you got to do that. You know, the grooming, the actual intercourse did not took place then, but it was just a touchy feeling. And as you read the book, you'll get more into details and the how I described it. And that's when you start feeling the uncomfortness or uncomfortable. Well, you know what, you did this, then if you go and tell your mom, then it's gonna get you in trouble and it's gonna get me in trouble. So you know what, you don't want to get in trouble, because when you're being raised in the South back then, you know, getting, I call it whippings, you know, you didn't want to get anybody in trouble, especially yourself, whenever you're sneaking in the house, you know, sneaking out Kool-Aid and stuff out the refrigerator when you know you're not supposed to be touching it. It's supposed to be a treat.
Yeah, let me see some hands in the audience, or some or some yes, me too. Who snuck Kool-Aid when you weren't supposed to get it? Okay, I know I did. I used to go put more sugar in it with Auntie Marilyn made it. I was going to get the scoop of sugar one day. My grandmother was like, it tasted like everybody was getting ready to die of sugar diabetes because I had put so much sugar in it. But we do that as children. And the thing that I really appreciate your explaining in the book, and not even with like an explanation kind of way, but just your writing style, was really important, that you talked about how he made you feel like you did the wrong thing. Like he's gonna tell on you if you and who wants to get a whooping? And y'all know what whooping was like down in the day, back in the day.
Yeah.
And in the South, and you don't want to be told, you don't want grandma to know, you don't want mama to know, and so he's gonna keep your secret.
Right.
And that is it's infuriating at the same time, because you know, as an adult, this is a manipulative, you know what, and this is what is about to happen.
Right.
And he was so strategic, and that just speaks to the sickness that was within him. The fact that he took you along in such a way, and this is the same thing that I talk about when I teach about human sex trafficking, because people will often blame the young ladies and say that they're bad and they're nasty and these are fast girls and all of that. The mind of a 5-year-old does not calculate and compute the same way that you do when you're out there passing judgment. And so I want to say that and be really clear about that. And the courage that it takes to do what you have done, to document it. And, you know, I often say that when you write it down, it becomes real.
Yes.
And that is where the healing is. That is why we ask people to journal, because so much of it we leave in here and it needs to get out. And when we let it out in the form of words, and especially in a way that's going to soothe and help somebody else, it's a beautiful thing. And so congratulations to you for that.
Thank you.
Was this, the writing of this book, was it cathartic for you? Was it part of your healing process?
Yes, because I no longer had to carry that secret. I no longer had to carry that weight of 52 pounds on my back, because it took me like 52 years to actually come forward with it. So I felt like, okay, I am so much better now that, you know, hey, it's time for me to just let this all out, let it go. And I no longer have this shadow over me. I feel more at ease. I feel more at peace. And I feel more better now, because I'm getting texts, I'm getting emails, I'm getting phone calls of how much this book has actually helped so many people heal.
Yes.
You know, and that what brings me joy. Going public with it and being so unapologetic, that what makes me feel better, that I did the right thing, even though I know that it's a God thing, because it's bigger than me. And again, I would constantly say that, because even though my physical body went through what it went through, but it didn't touch my soul, you know.
Yes,
you know, so my soul is okay. It's to help bring the healing. It's to help educate. It's to help make people knowledgeable of the transition of things that can happen to a child, how a child at that age can be so manipulated by the desires of sweets or Kool-Aid or candy, because these are things that kids, they feast on because they love snacks.
Yes.
So, and this is the thing that I tell people all the time, you know, hey, let's get back to the village, or how we used to help raise each other children and the families, and being there. If you see a child that's being withdrawn, or change the way they dress, change the way they're eating, or the
There you
change
go.
the way they're doing there's something wrong. Just
Right.
because it's not your child, but be attentive, and be concerned enough to know that this is someone else's child. you
Right.
know Go back to that
Yeah.
village. It's like, okay, what's going on? If you can't talk to your parents, there's so much help out there now than when I came up. The PD coalition, you got the domestic violence, you got the sexual abuse, all this 800 numbers, and you got more in schools now than they had back then. But back then, it was just because you felt like you didn't have anybody to talk to, that you
Well,
wanted to
uh,
pick up.
yeah, that's a point that I want to bring up too, because I noticed how you talked about your friend circle, and that
Yes,
everybody in that circle had been sexually abused.
yes,
And one of the girls had a particular case where her abuser was her father.
yes,
Now that was really something, and the way that you handle that, I think, is beautiful. We're not going to talk anymore about that because I don't want to give away anything in the book, but but I do want to talk about that. And then you also mentioned that it's kind of God is the catalyst to the healing and to all of that. And so we call this it's all about love, a holistic, God graced journey to find true love. And
right,
I love how you tie that title in, If You Love Me, because that happening to you at such a young age, and someone saying, you'll do this for me if you love me, helps you to see that love is not conditional like that.
right,
And it helps others to recognize that love is not conditional that way, that God's love is open, and he's not going to ask you to do, he's not going to manipulate your
right.
love. And so to go through the fire to get to the other side, to the healing place, and actually find true love. And as I read it, I felt like the true love that you found first was God, the true
Exactly.
love in God, and that God allows you to have true love for yourself.
Yes,
And I
that
think some journey that we have to do as the village is teach these young girls their value, teach
yes,
them their worth very young, so that when the manipulator comes, they
yes,
recognize it and recognize that they are more valuable
right,
than what they say, and what these people, because people can be horrible, and just, like, I don't have words, it's so bad. Let me
right.
see what folks are saying out here. William Kirby Seals says great show. Stephanie says wonderful. Hey, brother Alan, he says great discussion. Stephanie says love you tons. And William sends hand claps. Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, thank you all. And thank you all for being a part of this. And Linda, as you got older, is this book the first telling of what happened to you?
Outward, yes. Being so publicly, yes. There are times that even when in my circle, when we was in school and the other girls were telling what was going on with them, I still kept my secret, because this is where um, I felt like I still was being a victim. And I felt so ashamed that I didn't want to tell what was happening to me. I just sit
Mm,
there and I listen. And because when you're in that circle and everyone, all this is happening to the same people and the same way, it's like, okay, well, this is normal. But I just decided that, what, I gotta have better for me. I want better for me, even though I know better. As you get older, you start to realize, this is not supposed to be happening. And even when the incident, when I told a family member what was happening, I'm not going to go into a whole lot of details, but
mhm,
it seems like at that moment when he stopped that particular thing that was happening, I'm like, oh my gosh, that I still didn't go into deep details with him. I just told him, okay, I got to find a way to stop this predator. I don't want him doing this to someone else in the family, because there were other girls who was coming up, around
Mhm.
my age, and I felt like I have to protect them. Even though at a young age, I felt like I needed to protect, even though I protect him for what he was doing. I've always been that protector. I feel like I got to protect everyone that comes around me, including that predator, So, but and now I started to realize, okay, I got to do something to stop him, before it gets
Mhm.
to a point of something else that he wanted, and the advances were getting to be more and more advanced. And I'm like, I'm getting older, so I know exactly what he's trying to groom you
Mhm.
for,
Yeah.
So I'm like, this is the thing. I can't let that happen anymore. I'm not gonna let that
Mm.
happen. You know,
Yes.
and the abuse is not only comes from molestation or sexual. There is so many different type of abuse that women again have to realize what their worth is. It can be verbal, it can be, well, I'm just this rough type of guy. No, it is not. Anything that you love and you care about, you won't hurt.
There. Ooh, girl, say that one more time now. Come on.
Anything you will not hurt. If you
Will
love me, you
not
won't
hurt.
hurt me. And that's the love, I guess, so many women be searching for, is the
Yeah.
true love. But the true love actually is identifying who you are, and that you can love yourself in spite of whether you have a man or a female, male or female on your side. As long as you know that you have the love for yourself, that you can walk in dignity and know what your worth is.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. And when you stand in that, what you attract is very different as well.
Exactly.
When you stand in your knowingness of who you are and what your blessings from God entail, and how he wants, what he wants for you. And
Right.
so I thank you for sharing that. That is so, so beautiful and true. Stephanie says, so true. Thank you for creating this book. I needed this. Absolutely. Absolutely. I can see that.
Yeah.
Um, I want to see, let's see, Mr. Seal said, it's a strong woman to walk through that type of experience. Much love to the beautiful lady. Amen. Absolutely. Hey, Soror Rhonda. She says, good evening, Soror. Good evening indeed. And Risa says, absolutely. Absolutely. So, as you've written this book, you mentioned in the beginning, and I read your bio, that your mother, Geraldine, aka Gerald,
Yes.
was your greatest inspiration. So talk a little bit about that.
My
Her
mom,
behind you.
she was a
I
strong
think
lady.
I think. Wait a minute. I could hear you. I could hear you in my earbuds. Can you all hear us out here now?
I can hear you fine.
Okay, I think so. I could hear you in my earbuds, which meant that we were in our own cocoon. All right. So what I asked, in case the audience didn't hear, is that you talk about your mom in the book, and in your bio that I read says that she was your great inspiration. And is that her behind you?
Yes, it is. She passed 3 years ago.
Oh,
My mom, she was a very strong woman. She was a single mom, raising 4 kids, and she did so much for her children. Her children was her pride and joy, and there wasn't anything that our mom wouldn't do for us. There was how, even though she worked 2 jobs, she did domestic work. She worked out in tobacco field back in the South back then, and even as a little girl, I can remember her coming home so tired, and she trained me so young to learn how to cook a full course meal at the age of 8 and 9 years old. So, and I tried to do that to take some of the stress off of her. There were times when, you can hear her in the bed crying or praying, and I'm like, okay, what is wrong with
mhm.
her? But as I got older, I understood why she was praying, because she was praying for God to just continue keeping her strong, that she can be able to do what she need to do and raise her 4 children, to make sure, we had everything we needed, even though we grew up with very little. The one thing that we had was the love for each other. And that love was more than any amount of money that you can have. And
Mm,
the 4 of us are still, we're still the same way. We love each other dearly. And we instill that also into our children. So
Yeah.
it's kind of been like a cycle, to always be there for each other and pay attention, be attentive, so
Yeah, that's priceless. That is
it
absolutely
is.
priceless.
She was a little lady, but she was very strong and she was very firm.
Most almighty, huh?
Yes, we did not play with her. It's like we were scared of mom. Hey.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's good to have a little healthy fear. Makes great
Yes.
human beings, right? Ethel
Yes.
Sandy Washington, welcome to Boss Talk. She says, "Good job. Thank you for tuning in. It's nice to have you here." And where are you tuning in from, Ethel? I want to talk more about how you so we know that you chose to do this because you wanted to be able to help other people and to heal in your own way. So how are you using this experience now in the work that you do?
Um, I encourage a lot of people, young, old, male, female. I do one-on-one sessions. I do group sessions just to let them know that, in spite of whatever diversity you go through in life, as long as you continue believing and having faith in God, it can get you through anything. Even though it seems like it's impossible, it is very much possible. You just got to stay focused, keep your head on straight, and stay in your word. And everyone is not on a biblical level, and I'm not downing them, but you have to know that in spite of what you go through, God is always the answer to get you through it. He got me through this, and if I can get through this, then others can as well. And I know some
Mm,
has been through more worse than I have, and it's not just on the sexual abuse, it's on the mental abuse, it's on
yeah.
depression. Our mental health now is just really is taking a toll on the working mothers who's working a 9 to 5, holding down a family. And there's so much that we have to do as a female to keep things going in our household. So, I often tell people, you are who you are. Once you know your worth and you continue staying faithful to your God and what you're doing, you'll be able to get through anything.
I love, love, love that.
Mhm.
Absolutely, absolutely. We have something from Gwendolyn. She says, One Solution HR training is in the house. Yes, yes. And my friend, big sister mentor, she says, Linda, thank you for the healed delivery of your message stories. God bless you and all those your book will heal. Gigi, yes, absolutely. And here's a good question. How do I get the book? Well, I'll tell you how you can get it right now. We're going to put that in the chat so you all can go right straight to it with this link, um, because it's a well written. Your language is colorful. I love when I read a book and I can see grandma's house. All of those things. And it's really very so it's a quick read. And each chapter takes you right along the journey, which is also a very good thing. I'm an avid reader. Most recently I'm an avid listener because I love a good audio book on the way to here, there, and everywhere. But but I do like to sit down and read. I'm looking forward to my 22-hour plane ride for my honeymoon that I'll be reading all along. So I finished yours, but maybe I'll be waiting for your next one to come out so we can get that
So,
one. So as you do the work that you do now, you're certified in grief now.
yeah,
Um, can you talk a little bit about that and how that connects? Because a lot
yeah,
of people don't make the connection, I don't think.
yeah. In the grief and crisis, it goes along with the healing of, whether it's, like I said, molestation, rape, or death, losing a loved one, marriages ending, relationships ending. Everyone deals with grief and crisis in a different way. Um, it's with writing my book. and connecting these two, it actually goes side and side by the healing process. You have to have a healing process and know when there's time to ask for help. It's okay to say that you're not okay. And sometimes we as African Americans don't want to admit that, we need help. And men who always got to show the macho image, like, I'm big, I'm bad, I'm bold. I don't need this type of stuff. But we grieve differently. Some people grieve out loud by crying. Some people grieve by just drinking, turning to drugs. But you don't have to go to that extent or to that avenue. I'm not saying you can't drink or you don't have, I'm just saying don't let anything be of obsessive or and
Mm.
turn into some type of abuse. Know that there's help. Know that there's
Yeah.
people out there that care about you. Know that there's loved ones that you can go to and talk to. If you can't go to your family, then find someone. Don't let it get to a point of where you feel like there's no return, where then the suicide rate starts to go up. You don't want it to get to that point. It's like my motto is like prevention is better than cure on my
Right.
herbalism side. So this is the prevention that I'm giving you, the book, all these different avenues that you can reach. This is where you could prevent those different things from going overboard or falling off that cliff.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely. We love the quote you said when you said, anything you love, anything you care about, you will not hurt. Absolutely. So, Linda, you said something. I love that analogy about drinking. I think for me, I often say, drinking is fine. Do not drink with a purpose or a goal in mind.
Right.
So, if your purpose or your goal is to drown your sorrows, to uh, dull your senses so that you cannot think about or so that you cannot feel, then that is the kind of drinking you want to stay away from. If you want to drink to toast, if you want to socially drink, nobody is, have at it, do you, boo. But don't go to the point where I am going to have this drink because I don't want to feel this. I don't want to think about this. Because the truth of that matter is that as soon as that alcohol or substance of any kind wears off, wake up, you still with you, and you still got to deal with your same stuff. And so we want to find the true healing tools that will get you to that place where you're free
Right.
of the thing that, then you mentioned like 52 pounds on your back, that thing that's weighing you down, that
Yeah.
keeps you from being your light and being your true self and showing up in the world in your God-given, God-driven purpose. Then that is when it's time to do something and to seek help. And so I love that you have gone and gotten the certifications on how to work with grief. You're right. People, we all grieve very differently and for different reasons. Grief doesn't mean somebody just died. Grief
Right.
can mean something just changed.
Exactly.
Something no longer what it was. I feel the change. I feel the loss. I feel the difference. And that can be even a job. And people get kind of bent out of shape sometimes when you say that you can grieve a job and you can grieve a death. And people are like, well, that's, they're not, you can't compare them. You cannot compare feelings.
Right.
Feelings are just feelings. And I can feel just as deeply about something as someone else might feel about the loss of a death. If you've been with something, even if it's a habit and it's a pastime, a whatever, for a long time, it becomes part of who you are. And when you lose it, it
Exactly.
impacts you. So I think that, when you're doing the work that you do, when you've gone and studied like all the different nuances that grief, how it can show up, then it's very beneficial, I'm sure, for your clients. Now, how do you find your people that you work with?
Um, some is through by DSS, some is by referrals, some is through by the school. I just go out there and put myself out there and let them know, just put me on your call list, that these are some of the things that I do. This is what the
Mhm.
book that I wrote, that I'm tying them all in together. Some is through the church organizations. Some is through the PD Coalition. Um, some is through, like I said, some of the colleges, they have actually notified me, want me to come in and speak. Some of the schools that has like the B teams with the young girls, I go in and speak to them as well. So I
Love
actually
it.
put myself like on the on a call list,
Oh,
and
very
I
good.
love what I do. I'm passionate about what I do, and the one thing I just train people, hey, love you first.
Hmm.
Without
Now,
loving
what?
you, you can't love someone else.
That's right. That's right. You first. That's it. You have to love that person in the mirror before you can even know what the other kind of love looks like to give to
Right.
someone else. So I love that you said that. What is DSS? You said, is that
Oh,
Department of
Department of Social Services.
Social Services? That's what I
Oh
thought.
yeah.
It's different in every,
Oh yeah. Yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah.
yeah, no worries. Oh, someone's here. Annetta Langley. Hello, Annetta. Thank you for coming on tonight and welcome to Boss Talk. She says, I'm super proud of you. It takes a strong and brave person to allow the world to see them naked, bearing their truth, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Keep blessing others by telling your truth. Yes, yes, yes. Thank you, Annetta. Thank you for tuning in and supporting that way. Absolutely. 100%. So, well, we're getting near the end, and I hate that because this has been a really great conversation. And I just want to say that I too stand with Annetta and the others on the show tonight who applaud your courage, um, applaud your stick to itiveness,
Okay.
and your transparency in talking about a topic that a lot of people will not talk about. And I think that someone listening tonight or someone who will catch the replay will be blessed by your truth. And so I appreciate that you took pen to paper and decided that it's time. And you went ahead and wrote this book. And so I know that you said you have another book that's coming out. So tell us a little bit about that one.
Um, that one, it should be out within the next month or a month and a half. It's in the editor's hands right about now. It'll be coming out soon. Yes. I don't want to reveal too much about it, but they'll
Okay.
be very pleased. And you would definitely be pleased with it. It has nothing to do with my first book at all. So it's just totally different. But
Okay.
I am really excited about it, and can't wait till it
Well,
comes out.
we'll have to have you back when that one drops, right, Boss Talkers? Absolutely, absolutely. So,
Yeah.
Linda, one of the things that we do here at Boss Talk is before we go, we like to leave our Boss Talkers with nuggets, things they can chew on, things they can think about, or things that may resonate with them, and they can go back and go, or even have conversation about. So what would you like to leave the Boss Talkers with? Just some 20, 30-second nugget.
I would like for everyone to just look in the mirror at themselves and don't lose themselves. Realize what your worth is, and just trust the process. Know that if you don't know your worth, no one else will. Just demand that. Know that you're important, know that you're beautiful, and know that you're loved. You know, that was my main thing that I want everyone to know. Don't lose your voice.
I love that. Do not lose your voice. Know that you are loved. I think that is powerful and definitely something that we can all actually put into practical use. So thank you for that. Thank you for that. Now, is there anywhere that you'll be speaking, anything that you'll be doing virtually that people from all around can tune into?
Um, I'm working on a few things now. I will be in Atlanta in September. I have two engagements coming up there. I have a book signing coming up this weekend at the church in the community, Hopewell Church. There's several different things that is getting ready to pan out. We're crossing all the T's and dotting the I's. So God has actually truly been opening up a lot of doors and opportunities for me. And without him, it wouldn't be me.
I so love that.
Yes.
Well, Boss Talkers, you can reach Linda through her link tree. If you click on that, that will tell you all the places where you will find her. And so please get that. I'm just gonna put the book back in there so that and also through the link tree, you can get the book as well. But we're just going to put it in here again so that we, kind of cut out the extra step for y'all, and you can go directly to the book. So we'll get that up for you also. Let's see what the boss talkers are saying. Risa said, thank you, Sean LeRae and Linda, for bringing this topic to the forefront. Congratulations on your second book. As always, fantastic show. Thank you so much, Risa. I so appreciate the support. Here is where you can go once again directly and get the book. And we would love for you all to do that. And we are just really wishing you the absolute best for these upcoming things that you have. And we will definitely be watching what's coming up for you next.
Yes.
We love, yes, my quote tonight was, we all grieve very differently and for different reasons. Grief doesn't just mean somebody just died. Grief also means something just changed. Absolutely. Absolutely. Hey there, LaTanya Michelle. She says, thank you. This was great. LaTanya Michelle was a guest just last week, I believe, or 2 weeks ago, because last week we did an encore show. Let's see what my brother here is saying. Alan says, hopefully we can make it a movie. Lots of love. I love the way you're thinking, my brother.
Yes.
So you start thinking about who you want to play you.
That would be awesome.
I love it. So, brother, from your mouth to God's ears, we receive.
Yes. Let's do it. Let's do it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, y'all, I want to say thank you for tuning in once again this Wednesday. We love seeing you. We love having you. Please tell some other folks so that they can join us next time and they can go back and watch this. If you missed any of the links, you can go back to any of the links where you watch the show and get them again. Be sure to get Linda's book. Be sure to check out her link tree so you can find out all the other great things that she's up to. Legacy Janae says, great show. Super proud of you, Linda Renee. Excuse me. And so I want to tell you a little bit about what I'm up to. As you all know, in 11 days, in 11 short days, I am going to be marrying the man of my heart, William Kirby Seals. And we are so excited about that. Want to also share that when we get back from our honeymoon and take a breath, I will be presenting Take It Up a Notch, which is where you can come and spend some time just reflecting on the things that you are doing and what it is that you need to grow in and how you can take it up a notch. So we will strategize whatever it is you come in about. If it's your relationship, if it's your business, if it's that idea that's in your head that needs to be birthed and you just don't know what to do, we're going to help you take it up a notch. We're going to have a group coaching. We're going to have some individual coaching. And because I'm Sean LeRae and I believe in wellness and holistically, so we will have a sound bath and we will have someone there to massage all the tension away as we embark on this beautiful day of taking care of ourselves through taking care of our dreams. Because without a dream, there is no us. And Annetta says, congratulations and wishing you both a long and prosperous union. Thank you so much. Thank you, Annetta. So stay tuned to find out more about what I'm going to be up to in terms of Take It Up a Notch. We are also with the Black Women's Network, of which I am the president, blackwomensnetwork.net. We will be having in September a men's forum. We will be giving an opportunity for all the men in our lives to have a time to sit down and chat and talk about their stuff without us in the room. This came from a short men's forum that we had a couple months ago. And the gentlemen were really excited about it. And we had my sweetheart talking about nutrition, and he's a nutrition and wealth coach. We had a fitness coach on, and we had a marriage family therapist and coach on as well, talking about the mental health aspects of that men go through. And so we want to provide a forum and a safe space for our men to talk. So be looking out for that. Again, that is blackwomensnetwork.net. And here's how you can connect with Linder. Once again, her website, the link tree where you can find all of her links. You can purchase her book at Amazon. And we are thanking you all for being here tonight. And here's where you can find me. If you need coaching, go to livinglovedcoaching.com. If you need therapy, go to livinglovedhealing.org. And you can find me on Instagram and Facebook at Living Loved Healing. We have the nonprofit, which is the William Joseph Brinkley Center for Cultural Affirmation, where we believe Thank you for tuning in. It's Wednesday with Talk with Sean Murray, and we are so happy that you tuned in. Please go to the subscribe button and click subscribe so that you know that we are on every Wednesday. Press the little bell so that you'll get a reminder. Every one of you. So come and join us with us on Wednesday night. Don't be late. Shout out to Wayne Linsky.